welcome to Flexi Friday. I've got a 20-minute stretch for you, especially for hamstrings and hips. Hips and hams. Hips which sometimes get really raunchy and hamstrings which get tight. We're going to stretch them out, smooth them out, get them working beautifully and give you some strategies to maintain lifelong mobility in your hips. I'll see you on the mat. So we're meeting here on the mat in a cross-legged position, which I know is pretty hard for some people, and that's okay. I've got a little cushion underneath my bum, and you can put a cushion under your bum as well, or a little block, something just to lift yourself up a bit so we're not over like this. We're trying to just open this chest up, bring the chest up, heart towards the sky, and just sitting in this position is a great thing to do. You can do this. You don't have to be stretching, you can just take a few moments of your day just to sit like this. I like to work like this sometimes, and just to work on this cross-legged position that's so easy when we're children. And as we get older, we find it harder and harder. Our hips don't open up so easily, particularly if we're guys. And the girls will probably have the leap on us in this, and if you're a guy and you're with us today, then I'd encourage you to take some care of your hips, and particularly these lateral movements which keep us stable, particularly as we get older. So we're just going to take a few moments here with some deep breaths and out. Try and stay nice and long through the body here, and in and out. And you can put your hands on your lap, or you can pop them on your knees here and just press down. Just pressing down a little bit sometimes gives a bit of stability. Putting your hands forward can give extra help for your centre of gravity, so you can keep your shoulders back. Working on opening up these hips. Another breath in and another breath out. So many of the stretches we're going to do today are going to be quite long stretches. We're going to hold them for quite a while. They're called developmental stretches. And so if you stretch just for a few seconds, that makes you feel great. But if you want to develop your flexibility, then you need to stretch and hold for up to about 30 seconds, sometimes even up to a minute in this developmental stretch. So to sit like this, perhaps if you're reading one day, to sit and to read a chapter of your book in this position before you go back to the couch. Very, very good. You'll feel these hips opening out. So you might like to just take your hands now and pop them on your knees, and we're just going to pull back a little bit. Bit of tension just to pull the knees back, give you some relief, change the muscles that are working a little bit. Your arms are helping your hips. Good, one more breath. Okay, now we're going to take the right hand, put the right hand on the left knee, and take the left hand, and we're going to turn and just turn around and stretch out the spinal area. So here we are. We're not cranking round, neither are we twisting all the way around like that, but just round about halfway, and you'll feel that stretch. Try and keep the spine nice and straight, so we're trying to avoid this sort of hunch. As we go over, nice and straight, head up, chest upwards, and breathing in and breathing out. That's good. I'm going to hold this for another breath. And we're going to come back now to our centre position, meet in the centre and reverse. So the left hand goes on the right knee and the right hand comes behind us, and we turn around, keeping that chest high to just look slightly over our shoulder without cranking, keeping the chest nice and upright, chest nice and high, spine nice and straight. Eyes looking forward. Good. Back to the centre, and we're reversing again. Right hand on left knee, and round we go. Keep breathing, my friends, keep breathing. And then we're going to turn around now and do the other side. To the centre, left hand on right knee, and turning around. So all this is opening out those hips nicely, giving them chance to stretch out. And back to the centre. Then we're going to do away with the cushion if you're sitting on a cushion and come into an all fours position. So we're going to stack the arms underneath the shoulders and the hips and the knees underneath each other. Just hold this position for a moment, and then we're going to breathe in and we're going to drop the stomach down, so the navel's going towards the mat. And then as we breathe out, we're going to roll upwards, upwards, upwards. Round that back up. And feel the stretch all across your back. Oh, that feels good. And then breathing in. Down again. And back up. And breathing in. Breathing out, feeling that rotation in the hips, in the hip joints, particularly in the sacroiliac joint, it's called, which seizes up and becomes very immobile as we age. And breathing out, tucking, bringing that navel up towards the spine. Last time, breathing in. And breathing out. And just spin around. Legs facing forwards. We're going to take our right hand, take hold of our right ankle and just bring it behind us into this hurdler's stretch. And some people, the foot will come right behind, some it will be out to the side, that's okay. We're going to take our left hand and we're going to bring it down. It may come to our shins, it may come to our ankle, it may come and we grab the big toe, or we may be able to come with a big breath out, forward, and take hold of the underside of the foot. What's important is to keep this leg nice and straight. So it's better that you're here with a straight leg than you're here with your knee bent. So wherever you are, that's okay. I'm just going to roll forward, hinging at the hip, just allowing that nice stretch. You may have to balance yourself by bracing yourself here with your hand, right hand on your right ankle. And so we're going to take a long developmental stretch here, breathing in, breathing out. And try and just relax your buttocks. Sometimes in this position you'll suddenly find your buttocks are all clenched. So we're trying to stretch out, so particularly our hams and our hips today, hams and hips. A few more breaths here. Good, and every time you notice that your hamstrings or your buttocks are clenched again, deep breath into them and relax them. And we're going to lift up our right hand and swap the hands over and take hold of our foot and come back into that same position, except the right hand is now holding the left foot. And I'm breathing in and I'm breathing out. And I'm holding this again for a good 20 seconds at least. When we first go into a stretch, we have these little fellas called proprioceptors within our muscles which scream out at us, and they're worried we're going to do ourselves an injury. so they tense up all our muscles. And so what we want to do is we want them to relax down. And so if you hold a stretch for a while, after a little while the muscle goes, oh, it's okay, he's not going to kill me, and I'll just relax a little bit. I'll trust him, I'll relax a bit, and you'll find you can go down into the stretch a little bit more. Good. Back up to the centre. Now we're coming backwards, which is going to be a stretch for the quad here, the front quad of the right leg. I'm just going to roll back onto our elbows, or it may be that you go right the way back into a full stretch and just hold this position. Beautiful position here. Sometimes you may find your foot cramps a little bit. If your foot's cramping, try clenching your quadricep muscle, and that sometimes takes your mind off it and gives the leg something else to think about. So we're just stretching out here. If you're on your elbows, that's perfectly okay. It took me a long time, a couple of years, to be able to get down to this position. So another long developmental stretch here. One more breath. That's good. Slowly up, and then swapping the legs over. Taking left hand onto the left heel, pulling it up behind you. Get yourself organised. And then the right hand over onto the right toes, or the right foot, or the right shin. And we're just coming forwards. Nice, easy stretch. Remembering to relax the buttocks. Funny word that, isn't it? I can only ever think of Forrest Gump when I hear the word buttocks. Relaxing the buttocks, relaxing the muscles of the leg, the hamstrings. When you feel them relax, you can just push a little bit further into that stretch, hinging from the hips. That's good. Now we're taking the left hand and swapping the hands over. Left hand goes to right foot and holding the stretch again. That's good, you've got this, you've got this. You probably find this side stretching this way with your opposite hand to the opposite leg. You can't get quite so much into the stretch. That's okay, that's really normal. One more breath. And then we're going to roll back for the quad stretch onto the elbows, and if you can, right back onto the shoulder blades. Just holding it nice and long. Breathing into those muscles that are screaming right now. It's sometimes helpful just to imagine your tendons and your muscles and everything lengthening. Breathing in. Breathing out. Good. One more breath. Wonderful. Slowly, 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 slowly up. Feet out ahead of us. And we're taking now both hands and we're going to come down to our shins first of all. You know where this is going, don't you? And then we're going to go down and grab our big toes. And then if we can, big deep breath out. Onto our feet. And deep breath out. Slowly working those legs into a nice flat position, so they're nice and flat on the floor, on the mat. Try and avoid the toes coming out. So with the hands, bring the toes in together, and that will just increase the stretch a little bit. Nice long developmental stretch. So I will hold this
Often before I go to bed, I'll spend 60 seconds most nights just holding this position, stretching out. You can just gently get any niggles out the back here. Don't overstretch the back. The stretch should be on the hamstrings, not the back. Good. 5 more seconds. Wonderful. Sitting up straight. And we're bringing the right foot in and then the left foot in. So touching the middle, holding our feet together. Just shuffle perhaps in a little bit with the bum. And then we're going to just let those legs fall down. We don't have to push them particularly hard. I sometimes see people pushing really hard. As long as they're in nice and tight to your body, you can create the stretch just by leaning forward a little bit. And that's a nice stretch, nice hip opener here. If you can bring your shoulders back, that's great. Sometimes you see yoga teachers and they've got their shoulders back and their hips, so legs are on the floor and in these positions, and that's great for them and for the hypermobile brigade. But for most of us, stretching is hard work. And stretching, this is good. If you can get to this position, particularly if you're a guy, good on you. That's great. Breathing in, and breathing out. Try and look up. Good, one more breath. Legs coming back out, and we're rolling down onto the floor. Nice long body. The right leg comes up, and then we're going to just let that now on its own, just the right leg drop to the floor. You might want to put an arm out here to support your body, or just rest it slightly on the knee here just to give it a little bit of added weight. So just one leg is going out to the floor, and we're trying to aim to be able to have that on the floor without rolling over. So if you hold the stretch for a little while, it will start just rolling down nicely. That's beautiful. And then slowly bringing it up, laying it back down, bringing the other leg back up and rolling that down again, letting the knee come towards the floor. You'll be like me, perhaps you'll find that one side will work better than the other side. Breathing into those tight, tired hips. You got this. One more breath. So you may say, why do I want to be opening my hips up? You know, particularly if I'm a guy, why do I want to do that? And the reason is simple, is because the muscles which get tight, which stop you opening your hips, are also the muscles that are responsible for often for sciatica. And by learning to be able to open the hips, we bring beautiful release to this hip area, which enables the sciatic nerve to travel without impingement. So we can bring that leg back up, back down, and we're bringing both legs up now. The right foot is crossing over the left knee, right up nice and high, and then we're going to take the right hand and press down on the knee. And this is particularly a great exercise if you've got problems with the sciatic nerves. Pressing down, stretching out those muscles which clamp onto the sciatic nerve and cause you pain. Sometimes sciatic pain can seem so dramatic, but it's not actually, there's not damage being done normally, it's just a nerve being pinched, and this can bring wonderful release. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Good. Putting the foot down, we're going to swap over now. The left ankle comes up onto the right knee nice and close to the hip, and then pressing with the left hand on the left knee towards the, pushing away from you. Giving you a little bit of openness in the hip here. That's good. One more breath. You got this. Both feet onto the ground. We're going to roll our hands out to the side in a crucifix position, and with our knees we're just going to windscreen wiper them one way, with the hips one way, and then back the other way. Breathing in as they come up and out as they go down. Just like the windscreen wipers on your car, it's a beautiful feeling, this. That's it, you got it. A couple more times each side. Once more. Well done, my friends, well done. Bring yourselves up nice and slowly into a seated position. Come back into our cross-leg position now. You'll probably find when you come back into this position, you've got it's a lot more ease here. I haven't got my cushion to sit on, and I'm still feeling as comfortable as I was at the beginning with my cushion. So you can take a little while just to sit, perhaps get that book out, spend a little bit of time on your computer, whatever it is you do, take some time every day to sit in this position. I can't emphasize that enough. You've been watching Tojo Fitness. This is Flexi Friday, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend. God bless you.